Is our sound off?
We can hear you. I think we lost Audrey. Live? Yeah.
Sounds like our house went under contract. That's great news.
I know. Bring me some crystals, I guess, then, right? I don't know. So, she's got it bugged out. All right, cool. We're live. Um, all right, y'all. So Matt, I'm gonna give you sharing screen capabilities if
Okay,
you want
perfect.
it. And I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and tell everybody why you're such a rock star. And I'm gonna let you take it from there.
Me tell everybody why how great I am? No, I never do that. I'm terrible at doing that, Elizabeth. But happy Friday, everyone. It's great to see you guys. Congrats for having a camera on a Friday. Love Zooms where there's cameras on.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, as Elizabeth and I were kicking this off, my name is Matt Plummer. I'm from Las Vegas. I've been with EXP for 6+ years now. And Elizabeth and I had met at events. I think that's so powerful. We're actually we'll touch a little bit on events today, and why I believe people don't necessarily go to them when they want to go to them, and they should go to them. It's actually a little bit of part of what one of the things that I do when I work with real estate agents on their business and personal finances. Right. And so when I got started in the world of real estate, we had gone through some significant transformations, right? I did not necessarily end up as a financial coach I did not start out in this world as a real estate agent or as a financial coach for real estate agents. I was an agent just like you all. And in a quick little backstory, I'm going to share my screen. Can you see the slide deck screen here, Elizabeth? Can you guys
Yes,
see
we
that?
can.
All right,
Yes,
cool.
you're all good.
Excellent. And let's go to view. And so what we're going to talk about today is how to guarantee stress-free wealth as a real estate agent, even if your income is wildly inconsistent. I know you guys don't have months where the income you have a 40, 30, 30, 40, $50,000 month, and then it might dry up a few months in the row, or even might drop to 10. Like we don't have that in this world, right? We don't have that massive roller coaster. And so for those of you who are on this call that have had those months where it's like, how do I make this work when I'm selling 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 houses a year? However, I've never can seem to get ahead. Has anyone ever felt that way, right? In the world of real estate? And so what we're going to talk about today is how we can start to implement that and the wealth method on how we have created, right? My team and I have created the system for you all to start to implement as you get paid, as you keep selling houses, as your business keeps going up and to the right, regardless of interest rates, regardless of market, regardless of anything, what you need to do as a business owner to ensure that you can one day finally exit the transaction treadmill. Because who here signed up to sell real estate their entire lives, be contract writers their entire lives, just to be at the end of the day and not have as much left over as you thought you wanted, or you thought you should have, or that you deserve? And so my quick backstory of how we got to this Zoom started over a decade ago when I was on a marriage counselor's couch with my wife, her on one side, me on the other. I was 300 pounds, alcoholic, addictive sports gambler, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, married all of 14 months, blaming everything on my wife. And I was asked a very specific question by that counselor. And he said, Matt, could you go 90 days without a drink? You see, I wasn't sitting there because I had a drinking problem. I was sitting there because I was blaming everything that my wife was upset on her, not me. And I said, hey, Mike, I might be able to go 90 days, but she'll still be the same person 90 days later if I go 90 days without a drink. And he said a
Okay.
very important statement to me that will still hits me at my core. And he said, I hear you. That may be true. But here's what else is true. You've got 12 months or you're going to be dead, divorced, in jail, or broke. And at that moment, I knew I was looking external, not internal. Everything was an external factor and nothing was internal for me. And so I made a decision getting off of that couch that I literally didn't fit on. And I wanted to make a change. However, I didn't want to stop drinking. I didn't want to stop gambling. I didn't want to stop smoking. But I knew I had lost weight in the past and I knew I could affect what I put into my mouth. I knew I could get up off the couch. And so that sent me on a journey to lose some weight. And I saw the victories going, I saw the scale going down. Who's ever lost weight and like gets excited when the number just goes down like a pound week over week, right? Like we're just looking for some victories. Or hey, you put on that shirt and it fits a little looser, right? Or you hit that extra belt buckle or the loop on the belt, right? Or the dress fits a little lighter, little looser around our hips. Yeah, I was seeing those victories, right? And that keeps momentum going. 293, 287, 284, 277. But I wasn't showing up 7 days sober. I was losing weight, but I hadn't made a decision to become sober until I got ticked off enough and mad enough that I wasn't showing up on that in that counselor session 7 days sober. I was always 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, 0 days. It was never 7. It was never Friday to Thursday sober, Thursday to Wednesday afternoon sober, until I made a decision on May 19, 2012, that I had drank my last drink. I was driving down I-66 in Northern Virginia, and I made a decision that I had just drank my last drink. And I have not drank since May 19, 2012. Thank you, Margot. And everybody else that's clapping, I see Margot, so she got the recognition. And so once I made that decision, it was easier for me to understand and uncover, guys, that I was asking myself these questions. Why was I placing bets on sports that I didn't care who won? It was because I was bored. It was because I was chasing something that had no impact internally. It was all external. And so it was very easy to make a decision to stop betting on sports. And I was betting hundreds and thousands of dollars a day. I was betting on half a dozen to dozens of games a day. And y'all are like, how many games are there? You can bet on anything. If you have the right bookie, you can bet on anything. And this was before the phones, right? Before the phones were the gambling was online or on the phones. And so the next 90 days, lost 30 pounds, became sober, broke my gambling addiction. And that created enough space, 90 days, it was about 4 months of sobriety. And that was enough space for me to start to unpack the world of entrepreneurship. Because I was staring September and October dead in my face. And I had created a massive void between 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night. And so one of the things I want you to take away from you is too many times we are taking the things that are coming at us, and I call it aiming at the board, not aiming through the board. And we can only see down far enough down the line of time because of the amount of cash we have or the amount of closings we have. And I was able to create enough space so I could see further down the line of time and knew disaster was staring me in my face if I didn't fill the void between 4 and 10 p.m. I was staring baseball playoffs, start of college football, start of the NFL, hockey season, basketball season. I was staring at all of my demons were coming at me, so I had to fill a void. to now do something purposeful, internal between 4 and 10. Opened me up to the world of entrepreneurship, started making some more money, was not real estate. It was actually in the network marketing online weight loss space. And over the next 2 years, my wife and I lost 100 pounds. She became a Body by Vi fitness champion. And we were the face of an online community that helped people lose weight until the fall of 2013. We sat on another couch and I had to have the heartbreaking conversation that Melinda and I had to have, that we needed to borrow from her 401k after we borrowed from my 401k in 2012 because we didn't have enough cash to make it to April. Business had recessed. Lifestyle had exceeded income. We had bought so many things because we could afford payments. We were out of money, which sent us on another journey to uncover that we were $551,000 in debt. From all the habits, from all the decisions, house, cars, student loans, car payments, timeshare payments, taxes, student loans, personal loans, all of it. $500,000 was sent us on a journey to, have conversations and start looking at money a little differently. We took Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and the first session that I saw how he started helping people unpack their debt, unpack their financial situation. It was exactly how I lost 100 pounds. It was exactly how I became sober. And 40 months later, we paid off and eliminated $500,000 and did our debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey Show, which helped me realize that we worked our brains out to get all the way back to zero, which opened up, needed to go make more money. We had done such a great job, world class, on lowering the water, reducing expenses, living on nothing, delay gratification, sacrifice, all the things that we don't want to do, to where I had to go make more money, which is raising the bridge. Because we were trying to drive a boat through under the bridge. Water was too high, bridge was too low. We lowered the water, we raised the bridge, which was make more money. Real estate was the only way I knew how to go make more money. My first commission check was $10,000. I was in a market center in Reston, Virginia. I started having conversations with real estate agents just like you and asked you what you did with your first $10,000 check. I didn't know. I'd never been a business owner in this stage. And what I heard, I didn't hear: buy more real estate, hire an assistant, get training, go to events, get coaching. I heard pay last year's taxes and next month's car note. And I'm like, if these are the top producers and that's what they said, my client is not the buyer or the seller. My client is the real estate agent. Because I'd much rather help Elizabeth Riley not aim her money at obligations. I'd much rather help her take her money and aim it towards opportunities so that she can go sell more houses. And as she sells more houses, she can go create stress-free wealth. And so thousands of conversations and hundreds of financial transformations later, we uncovered the 3 steps to creating a financial transformation. The very first step is awareness. I want every single person on this Zoom to write down today their facts. Because the facts are truth and the truth will set you free. I weigh this much, I have this much money, I've been selling real estate for this long, I have this much in my pipeline, I've closed this much. This is what my reality is. I have this much money, I've invested this much. It's no, and I want you to be cautious when you do this. Do not fall into measuring forwards. I want you to measure backwards. How far have you come? Because there's a lot of people on this call that might feel like, oh, hey, I should be further. No, imagine where you were 10 years ago and where you are today. So do not fall in the shame, blame, and guilt trap. Just write it down. It's awareness. Facts are truth, and the truth will set you free. That's all it is. The next thing I need you to do is I need you to make a decision based on what you just wrote down. If you don't like what the scale says, start walking. If you don't like what the bank account says, look back the last 90 days and identify 1 or 2 things that you just don't need to spend money on. What are 1 or 2 things? Start looking forward down the line of time. Hey, what are some of the decisions that we need to make based on the facts of today? That's what we call it. That's what we call it. The facts. Just make a decision. Decision can be made like that. If you have too much credit card debt and you have credit card debt and you want to get out of it, make a decision to stop using credit cards today. Figure it out. Everything in your world that you wrote down is figure outable. And the next step is intentionality. When's your next closing? Great. It's this afternoon. It's next Tuesday. I want you to grab a piece of paper. I want you to grab a pen right at the top. I make $10,000. And here's what I'm going to do with 10 grand. Intentionality. And then do it. This is what I'm going to do with my next $10,000 check. This, and this. Whether you have 1 or you have 100 coming in, and you're a mega team and you have 100 close, you have 100 pending, or you're a big a big agent and you have 6 closings, or you're a solo agent and you just got started and hey, my next check is Wednesday. This is what I want you to do with it. Intentionality. Awareness, decision, intentionality. Because in those conversations, some other things started raising their hand. Type in the chat before we go into this, type in the chat, who can resonate with any of this? Doesn't matter what it is, who can resonate with any of it? Type in the chat, just put me, that anyone can resonate with this. Right? After hundreds and, like I said, the thousands of conversations that we had, some other things came to be true. Real estate agents don't make as much as they think. Right? Real estate agents don't make as much as they think. Cap resets, referral deal. There was an affiliate program. There was a lead source on the other side of it. People are like, I know when my cap resets. I know. And you're also banking on the $10,000 check that's closing on October 25th. That moves to November 3rd. And your cap resets November 1st. And your check just went from 20,000 to 16,000 like that. And nobody did anything wrong. And your income just went down by $4,000. You're expecting the extra 4 grand. However, you're not paying attention. So real estate agents don't make as much as they think. We all spend more than we care to admit. We all spend more than we care to admit, which causes us to be behind on taxes and or retirement. So as you're coming into awareness, right? Just imagine, hey, do I make more than I think? Do I make less than I think? Do I spend more than I care to admit? Am I behind on taxes and retirement? Just write that down for yourself. So the first thing I want us to start looking at is profitability. Too many times, and we've read too many books, and we've had too many people tell us, like, who has ever type me in the comments or type profit in the comments if you run your business on a profit and loss statement. Right? If you run your business or know what a profit and loss statement looks like, right? And so we have revenue, and I'll just put it here, million. We have expenses, and then we have net profit, right? This is what a profit and loss statement looks like. Fair, right? We have revenue, we have expenses, and then down here in net profit, where's the first place that you look? on a profit and loss statement? There, right? Shake your head, thumbs up. We all look there on a profit and loss statement. Sean's like 2 thumbs up. Well, if this is $1 million and you crushed it this year, and then you have like 400 grand of expenses, right? Salaries, admin, rent, marketing, etc., travel, events, like 400 grand. There's $600,000 here, right? Because we've gone through a framework called sales minus expenses equals profit, right? Sales minus expenses. We heard that in Accounting 101 400 years ago, right? We heard it in a business class. We read it in a book that's read that says sales minus expenses equals profit. Well, I have 2 questions in the sales minus expenses equals profit. Where is the bank account that has $600,000 in it or had 600 grand go through it? Question number 1, right? Second question, where's the 200 grand that you owe the government on the 600 grand that you made? Where's that money? Because we got to pay Uncle Sam. And I normally get the same look that I'm getting right now, which is like, I don't know. It's like, this is the emoji I get. And so we have to flip the script and we have to hack profit where sales minus profit equal expenses. One of the things I want you to do out of that first $10,000 check or that next closing is I want you to take some money for you, the owner, and don't do anything with it. Just set it off to the side and put it in a bank account. We have to take profit first. We have to take it first. Because if we don't take it first, is it ever there? It's never there, gang. So we have to take profit first. And we'll work through the rest of the framework. At the end of this, I've got a book that I wrote that walks you through how to create stress-free wealth. There'll be a QR code. You can take your phones up, you can take a picture of it, and you can download how to implement some of these steps. But the first secret is we got to take profit first. The next thing we have to do is we have to save and invest our money. I call this adding age to our money. Because some of the money that we pay ourselves and some of the money that we use in our business, we are going to need it for a future use. Fair? Right? I mean, if everybody on this call is with EXP or you're in real estate, regardless of what brokerage, your brokerage releases about 6 to 12 months in advance their national sales conference. And then when we get to the month before or 3 weeks before the sales conference, and we start having conversations with, hey, Sim, you going to EXP Con? Hey, Michelle, you going to your real estate brokerage? Hey, Sean, you going to EXP Con? You're like, no, not this year. And it's like, oh, tell me about that. And like, just didn't have it in the budget. And I'm like, well, how many houses do you sell? Oh, I sell 47 houses. And I'm like, we didn't want to take like $2 grand of like 47 deals to go to Miami because you live in Anchorage, Alaska, and Anchorage, Alaska is just much better than Miami in October. Right? Right? I mean, Maine is so much better than Cabo in March, right? I mean, the weather's terrible. It's 75 degrees on the beach every day. So we have to start taking some of that 10 grand for profit and some of that 10 grand that's for expenses. Like we have to put that aside so we can go and develop and invest in ourselves and our business. Does that make sense? Does that track, gang? And you're like, Coach, like, is there ever any money left for me? Yeah, just go sell another house and trust me, the more money you make, the more money you're going to have. However, if we have to start this framework, and so some of the money that you take for profit and you pull back and you have for yourself, at some point, do you want to stop selling real estate? Or did you sign up to just take listings all the way until the day you die? I don't think anybody signed up for that class. So the money that we pay ourselves, we have to save it for savings. We have to put it aside for savings. We have to put it aside for investing. Two different things. And in the Plummer household, it's considerably two different things. I'm trying to put everything away for savings for investing. So eventually I don't have to do 4,000 Zooms a week, right? You guys have your listings. I have Zooms, right? These are my listing appointments, just like you guys go into a house, right? I take listings, they're coaching clients. One day I'm like, enough's enough. So we have to put money aside for investing. And Melinda likes to put money aside for savings because Homegirl likes to go to a new country every year for her birthday. That got Sonia's attention. She's like, different country for my birthday? I'm in. Now I'm paying attention. How do I do that? Yeah. And so in the last 7 years, we've gone to 6 countries on her birthday because we save some of the money that we pay ourselves every single month. So this time of year, we're writing checks and we're putting down deposits and we're booking excursions in different countries. Another Zoom, but I'll be glad to share how we do that. And so when we take money, when we pay ourselves first and we save and invest that money that we pay ourselves for the things that are going to happen in the future. By the way, pro tip, don't know if you guys know this or not, Christmas this year is on December 25th. So we have like 60 some days, 70 days for Christmas to set aside a little bit of money. So when we have Black Friday, we can use it instead of a credit card. Like just start there. Don't worry about EXPCon or Cabo or Inman or Zillow Connect or all of that stuff, or Grant Cardone's event or Matt's event. Don't just worry about Christmas. And then say, hey, when I get to 2025, I want to go to Cabo, I want to go to Matt's event, I want to go to EXPCon, whatever. We'll work our way into it. And then the third secret, and then there's a system behind this that we need a place to put that money. Because if that money is just sitting there and it's like, oh, hey, Michelle has earmarked $1,000 for this event, and then there's a down the closing, what happens to $1,000? Or hey, we got 20 grand set aside for taxes this year, and we go a month without a closing, what happens to the government's money? You either steal from the government or you steal from the owner. One will get you fired, the other will send you to jail. So the third secret's budget hacking. You knew it was coming. The dreaded B word. However, I want you all to not think of this as, actually, before I say it, I want to ask, when you all hear the word budget, type in the chat the first word that comes to mind. This is normally when it goes from 37 to 33 to 32 to 29 people on the Zoom. Like he was talking about profit and savings and he suckered us in with budgeting, right? Peace of mind. I get excited. You guys have structure, freedom. Y'all are my people. Elizabeth Riley's done you guys right. Elizabeth, right? She's half crazy. She likes budgets. Like who likes budgeting? So many times I see, there we go. I don't like it. Spending less. Restriction. Right? There it is. Love it. Love it. Nope. I'm out. Trinity, she's like, I am signing off today. I'm out of here. Yeah. So all a budget is, gang, is I want us to reframe our brain and reframe our perception, our perspective, and that all the word budget means is plan. All it means is this is what I'm going to do with this money, whether it's in your bank account or whether it's coming in. And we just need to start planning and getting a little ahead of it so the money can start going towards opportunities rather than obligations. This is when I get fired up. This is when transformation happens. This is the intentionality of that framework of awareness, decision, intentionality, is planning our money. If it brings you stress and anxiety, Change budget hacking to freedom plan, spending plan, cash flow plan. Doesn't matter. The process is the same. Profit hacking, we take our money, we pay ourselves first. We take some of that money and we have to invest and we have to save it before we spend it. That includes in our personal life and in our business. And budget hacking is when we take that money and we have it in ourselves, we pay ourselves and we have it in our business. We plan it before we spend it. That's all it is. And then we make sure that we're adults and we honor that commitment of what that plan was. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if it's Michael or Stacy, but you're right. That's called being an adult. It's easy to make a plan. The hard part's sticking to it, which is where technology comes in, which is where software comes in, which is where community comes in, which is where people come in, proximity, coaches, accountability partners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we go through this, we've been here 30 minutes and you're like, okay, got it. Awareness, decision, intentionality, save or pay myself first, save and invest, do some sort of a plan. Coach, that's a lot. You gave us a lot on Friday morning. Let me ask you this. Why, a lot of people ask, like, why do I have to have all these bank accounts? Why do I have to do this? Why can't I just go sell a few more houses and that'll just take care of it? Because I'm going to ask you one question. If you're trying to get from one side of the lake to the other and you have holes in your boat, does it matter how fast you paddle? You'll never get there. And so the reason why we do this is I want you to ask yourself, what if you were finally able to get organized and to create a consistent income? And that stress and anxiety, because the two things that bring the most stress and anxiety to real estate agents and high income earners and high income couples is inconsistent income and financial disorganization. What if you were able to finally get organized that helps you create a consistent income? What if you were able to be profitable on every transaction? If you're profitable on every transaction, you're profitable for the year. And if you have a system that is profitable on every transaction, you're actually going to have money for you to reward yourself for owning the business. What if you remove the stress of paying taxes on time forever? The system that I walk everyone through turns our quarterly taxes into like paying a light bill. It doesn't, the money's not yours, it's the government's. It's never been yours. Now, does the government need all of it? To be determined. Do they need a little bit less? Do they need to go on a diet? Yeah, probably. But we all need to go on a diet. Whether it's weight or money. We all could either eat a little less or spend a little less. So what if you were able to remove the stress of paying taxes and it was just like paying a light bill? What if you never had any payments? You were 100% debt free. You even owned the yard in your backyard. You owned the grass in your backyard. Would it be worth it? What if you were able to save your first $1,000, $10,000, $100,000? What if you're a single mom and you had $100,000 of cash sitting in an envelope underneath your bed? Or single dad, or solo agent, and you're like, I don't actually have to take a listing appointment this week. I'm going to be okay. And you open up your Fidelity brokerage account and you've got 100 grand or $1 million sitting in there a decade from now or half a decade from now because you absolutely smashed it over the next 5 years. Would this be worth it to implement the wealth method, to implement this framework that we're going to share with you here in a second? What if we were able to take our real estate commissions and had a system that when the money flowed through, we were able to invest $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 a month? There's people on this call that can easily save $5,000 to $10,000 a month. It just takes a little bit of organization and thought and planning and just, this is what I'm going to go do. Who wants these numbers on the right? 200, 500, a million, 2 million, 5 million, 7 million. Like these numbers aren't just made up. I just went into a calculator and said, hey, if you did this for this long at this rate, what would the numbers be? We can find these investments. We just have to do it for a long enough period of time. And that's where most real estate agents fall short, is they want it too fast. And most of them are playing from behind. So we have to get caught up. We have to do the work to get back to zero and then push through zero to get to your first 100,000, get for your first million, to your next million, and to your next million. And it just takes commitment and consistency, and the finish line will eventually come to you. And so my gift to all of you today is how to create stress-free wealth. It's an ebook. You can scan that, put your information in. And this will walk you through the 5 financial mistakes that real estate agents make. It'll talk about profit hacking. It'll talk about profit. It'll talk about savings and investing. It'll talk about how to do a plan on an inconsistent and irregular income. It'll talk about how to start exiting the transaction treadmill. And go ahead and download this. It's 100% free. Saw somebody in the chat was like, when everybody sells me something, it's not in the budget. This is in your budget. It's free 99. It costs no money. So grab your phones out. You can also get it at if you don't have the ability, I'll just type the link in the chat. And this is where you can get the book. You can go to that link as well. If you're on your phone, right? Just write down that mattplummer.com/ebook. It'll send you to the same page, put in your email address, and it's there. And so I want each and every one of you, even if you are, let's see. Stop share. Now I can look at everybody. Even if you are in a season where you're not thrilled, or you're in a season where you're crushing it, everyone on this screen can create stress-free wealth. Everyone on this Zoom can take and create something considerably different than where they are today. You see, 5 years ago, gang, I wasn't sitting in this room with 50 people on a Zoom. I was sitting next to a good friend of ours at EXPCon trying to figure out how I was going to exit my treadmill. Because my wife and I were starting to ask different questions, is like, hey, I didn't love selling real estate, and the coaching method that I have just wasn't working, right? The people were coming in, they were paying a little bit of money, and they just weren't doing the work. And it was because I didn't have a plan of where I was going. I was just fighting the fire in front of me. Who's fought the fire in front of them before? I was looking at the board. I wasn't looking through the board. And so he helped me start to paint a different picture. And I started asking myself different questions. One was, why do I live where I live? I didn't love Northern Virginia. It was just where we lived for 20 years. So I started asking myself, why do I live where I live? Then I asked our second question, if we could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would have to be true for us to live there? You see, if I was in Reston, Virginia, and I was selling real estate 24 times a year and I moved, what happened to my income day one? Zero. And what did I like or what did I not like about where I lived, and where did I want to live? Well, I didn't like rain, cold, traffic, snow, congestion, inclement weather, steel buildings, glass, like all this stuff. And I'm like looking out the Reston Town Center. I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm freaking miserable. I hear horns, sirens, all of it, and it's literally outside of my building. I'm like, okay, what do I like? Golf, sunshine, no taxes, no rain. And I'm like, high quality outdoor high quality of life. So when you print out the states of the United, if you print out a map of the United States and you're like, hey, I don't like this stuff and I do like this stuff, in about 6 minutes, it was either Phoenix or Las Vegas. And so now what did I have to go do to be true? What had to be true? $10,000 a month on the first of the month. You pick your method, regardless of where you live, right? Is it building a real estate team? Yeah, cool, awesome. Is it EXP revenue share? Sure, yeah. For me, it was online coaching, to where I could coach Michelle, I could coach Stacy, I could coach Jill, I could coach Kim. Anywhere, as long as there was a camera or a phone, I could help them solve their problem, come up with their gap anywhere in the world. And it took us 2.5 years to get to 20,000. It took us about 10 months to get to 10,000. It took about a little after 20 months to get to 20,000. And then we started looking at houses, and we moved to Las Vegas. And so that was 5 years ago. We built a gorgeous house here on the outside of Las Vegas. So your last 5 years don't have to be like the next 5. So if you're in that moment of awareness and you're like, okay, this is where I am, 3 to 5 years from now, you can so easily be in a completely different place. You just have to show up, have a vision, and go do the work. And follow the framework that's in Stress-Free Wealth. Because the number one mistake that agents have is they don't have a plan on how they're going to get out of selling real estate. And that was what I created 5 years ago with a vision on a whiteboard, and then went and did it. And that blueprint is in that book. And it's been an honor serving you all this morning. Elizabeth, thank you. Can't wait to give you a big hug next week or 2 weeks from now. Who else am I going to see? Who else am I going to see at EXPCon?
There's a bunch of us
Okay,
going.
this is the last event that I'm going to miss because I'm going to implement the stuff that Matt talked about. Awesome.
Matt, this was incredible. Elizabeth had to step away for a second, but I just wanted to thank you. And not only does it remind me of important, helpful freedom planning steps that I can take, but also I am so appreciative of the story that you shared that led you on this journey, because it reminds all of us life is going to always throw us challenges, but what are we going to do to turn that around so that we can author our own story? And so we had an opportunity to learn, be reminded of that important lesson. So grateful for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. And, I have a few minutes it's been an honor serving you again. If you want to follow online or get connected, I'll put my handles here in the chat. So it's super easy on Instagram. And
Matt, I'm still on here too. So,
excellent.
well, Jill, can you grab the handles too, and we'll put them. This is being streamed in the tribe group, y'all. So we'll put the handles and all the information in there as well, so you have access to it.
Absolutely. I'll post the ebook and everything.
Yeah,
If that's okay, Matt.
It's 100% fine. It's been an honor serving you. I'm here for if anybody has any questions that they want to put it in the chat, or come off mute and ask a specific question. I'm happy to help. I'm here to serve you all with zero agenda.
Yeah, y'all come off of mute and ask your questions, because he's a wealth of he's a huge resource, as you can tell.
Matt, I have a question. And this is really timely for me. It's so incredible. We had a very long conversation at my house late last night about all of this. And I'm 20 years in real estate. And anyways, it's just the timing of this is absolutely mind blowing. So thank you for being here. So I actually would like to know more about your coaching and how that's formatted and what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure. The easiest way, Michelle, just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, number one.
Okay.
And then I'll actually let me put my Because some
Got it.
people, some people don't have, just shoot me a text here. There's my cell phone. You can hit me on Workplace as well. Like I said, I'm with
Okay.
EXP. There's tons of opportunities, right? There's, I have, there's group options, right? There's consulting, right? To where it's like, hey, I don't really want to do anything long term, but like, hey, let's set something up to like to be a consultant. There's one-on-one and there's done for you. And like there's so many different ways that I can serve people. And again, I always encourage people to just like, this isn't where coaching where you go, $50,000 into debt and we got to go catch up, right? Like that would be a little audio not matching video. So like I always want to make sure that I'm leading the right person in the right path. And again, like it's Las Vegas sometimes, and sometimes people want to get a break of the chill from the winter. And the answer and you want to get a little break from the winter, and hey, come out for 2 days. Let's sit in a room like Brad and like put a whiteboard up. You talk day one, I talk day two. And then it might turn into something, but at least you're going to come here. You're going to get out of Austin, Texas. You're going to get out of Florida. You're going to get out of, Washington, D.C. or wherever you are. And you're going to be in a room where it's okay to talk about money. And it's okay to talk about it's okay to talk about that. So, so there's tons of options. There's something for everyone.
Thank you. We have family in Vegas, so that's easy. And I went to UNLV, so
Oh, cool. Awesome.
no trouble at all.
Very cool. And then I think Kelly asked a question, can I help find a tax strategist? Yes, actually, the person that we use is fantastic. They just they just broke into the top 125. I think they were 121 on Inc.'s 5,000 list. They're actually here in Las Vegas. And so I can easily just make that introduction to you all. Just shoot me a message, either text or on social, and I can make those introductions. Same with bookkeeping, same with financial advisors. Like, if you have a 5-person team, right? Jim Rohn says you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Well, it doesn't all have to be around money, but like we have our spouse or our family, right? Is one part of the team. You, your spouse, and your family. You have your financial coach. That's kind of like not necessarily quarterback, but he's just making sure that, like, hey, here's where you guys want to go, and then let's just make sure that these people follow along. And then we have a financial advisor, and we have a bookkeeper, and we have a CPA, right? So you're going to need some people, especially as you keep growing your business up and to the right. You're just going to need more people to help you. And I can definitely point you in the right directions.
So wonderful. My goodness, Matt.
Awesome. Very cool.
Wealth of information. I know my peeps in my tribe here. I see their wheels turning.
Yep.
Does anyone have any other questions? I'll be sure to post your contact information in
Great.
our tribe group.
Awesome. Have a great Friday. Elizabeth, you did something amazing getting me on a Zoom on a Friday. If you follow me on Instagram, there's only one thing I commit to doing on Fridays, and that's to play golf. And Elizabeth Riley has enough charisma and energy and charm to make sure that she got me off the golf course. It'll be this afternoon. But it's
Well, you're amazing because you just pour into all of us too.
What
And
you
the fact
doing?
that it's 2 hours earlier
Getting
there for
something out of your
you
car?
is not to, it's much earlier for you than it is for most of us. So thank you for showing up today.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. And again, if there's anything I can do, reach out through the ebook. There's a contact me in the ebook on the website, text or social, and I'll gladly help where I can.
Matt, you're amazing. Thank you, my
Awesome.
friend. And I'll see you
All
in
right.
Miami.
All right. See y'all. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
You know what, you're here.